You're listening to Big World Network.
Amazing Grace, Episode 2. Written by James Hellvig, read by Meagan Hedin. The pungent smell of liquor and stale nicotine make Anna wrinkle her nose as they enter the apartment. Officer Rayland raises an eyebrow but remains silent. Setting Anna gently on the couch, Tammy kneels, looking her in the eye. I know it smells bad. We won't be here long, okay? Anna nods her acceptance. Pivoting to face the waiting policeman, Tammy continues. I'll be quick. There's juice in the fridge and water if either of you get thirsty. Standing, she crosses the room, opening the only window to air it out. Retracing her steps, she retrieves the handgun from atop the fridge, telling a scowling Rayland, I have a permit and a safe. Okay, he replies. Tammy quickly moves down the short hall to the bedroom, dialing the phone as she closes the door and strips out of her blood-smeared clothes. Opening the safe, she stows the weapon and is closing the door just as a gruff voice answers her call. My favorite Major. Damn, it's been too long. Tell me I'm dreaming and this is going to get X-rated. Smiling despite herself, Tammy rummages through her small closet, speaking low into the phone. You're not that lucky, Sergeant Major. Listen, I need a favor. After getting Anna a glass of water, Officer Rayland steps to the wall where the shattered remains of a whiskey bottle and several papers lay scattered. Gingerly, he picks up the fallen citations, looking at each briefly before setting them aside. Scanning the few pictures amidst the papers, he whistles softly. A former airborne infantry soldier. He recognizes the Special Forces crest on her dress uniform in one of the photographs. It explains the lack of team pictures and the scars he saw on her body. A Delta Force Major. She'd won some of the nation's highest combat citations. What did they call that unit? The Funny Platoon. It was rumored that Delta Force had a platoon of operators, all female, that trained head-to-head with the men. Shaking his head in wonderment, Rayland hears Tammy's voice rising from the background murmur. Turning, he sees Anna watching him with interest. You okay? He asks her, smiling. Uh-huh, she replies. Keeping your eye on me for Miss Tammy, right? Rayland whispers, winking as he steps past her toward the short corridor. Anna gives him the thumbs-up sign and he returns the gesture, making her smile sheepishly. Halfway down the hall, he barely makes out the coldly whispered words. Are we playing 20 fucking questions, Sergeant Major, or are you coming to get me? There is a brief pause before the whispers continue. Oh, you? Hell, we aren't even close to being even. See you in 10. Rayland hears the phone snap shut and quickly retreats to the head of the hallway. Tammy's bedroom door opens and she steps out in a robe, headed for the shower. Glancing in his direction, she says, Instead of being nosy, make yourself useful. Go to Anna's apartment and get a bag of snacks, toys, and some clothing. Without waiting for a reply, she enters the bathroom and starts the shower. Closing his mouth with a click, Rayland turns when he hears the jingling of keys. Anna has retrieved them from her grandmother's purse and stands waiting expectantly. Sighing in resignation, he says, So, let's go get some stuff. Anna nods and tells him, We have to hurry. Miss Tammy is fast. I've seen her run. Adjusting the water until it's nearly scalding, Tammy soaps and scrubs the blood and grime from her hair and body. She reflects on the young police officer who is obviously prior service, and the further questions she knows she'll have to evade from a certain senior NCO. Random thoughts flit through her mind. Crap, now he'll probably have a case of hero worship to go with his white knight syndrome. He is kinda cute, horn dog. Watts is gonna be a pain in the ass. Maybe I can get Anna to keep him busy. I gotta quit smoking. My apartment reeks. Shit. Leaning her head briefly against the cooler tile, she lets the hot water pound on her back. The haze of her early morning buzz is gone. A slight throbbing headache has begun to form behind her eyes, and the usual sharp ache of dejection seems dulled by the distractions of the task at hand. Opening her eyes, her focus hardens. Shutting off the water, she steps out and quickly dries, wrapping her short hair in a towel. First thing, call the mother. Get some relative down there or something. Swallowing ibuprofen, she brushes her teeth, the clock always in her mind ticking off seconds. Opening the door, she pauses, listening for company. Satisfied, she steps across the hall nude into the bedroom, toweling her hair vigorously. Dressing in jeans and a cardigan sweater, she chooses lightweight, soft-soled shoes, adding a folding ceramic knife and compact Kimber 9mm to her waistband. Stuffing ID, cash, and her phone into a tiny bag, she runs a comb through her short blonde hair, briefly looking at her reflection in the mirror. Red, bloodshot eyes stare back at her in a face that looks tired and weary. Great, I look like shit. Exasperated, she flings the comb down and heads for the door. Tammy is slightly gratified to see that she has beaten the young officer in getting ready to leave, since he has not yet returned. Opening the front door to leave, she starts to close it behind her when she sees the love me wall her teammates had erected for her. Sighing aloud, Tammy notes the neatly stacked frames she'd knocked down earlier. Damn. Hearing the door down the hall open, she closes up her apartment and turns the lock, looking to see Anna pointing at her and smiling. I told you she was fast. Smiling in return, Tammy walks toward the waiting duo. Raylan tries hard to keep from giving her the once-over and fails. Yes, you did. Looking Tammy in the eye and holding up a suitcase covered in butterfly stickers, he asks, Did you find a ride? If not, I can drive you. The department doesn't like us to. Grinning, Tammy holds up a hand to forestall further explanation, and her phone buzzes loudly. My ride's downstairs, Rayland, but since you're following, you can bring the luggage. I'll see you there. Come on, Anna. She holds out her hand for the little girl, and Anna takes it willingly. Rayland watches as they descend the stairs. The landing below has been cleaned by the building's maintenance personnel. Tammy moves with an easy grace, any lingering effects of the alcohol in her system unrevealed. Following, Rayland's radio crackles in his ear. 214, 1020, please, the dispatcher asks his location. Keying his microphone, he responds. 214, still 10-6 this location. Departing for hospital shortly. Will notify when I'm 1097, he tells his dispatcher, informing her that he's still busy but will call when he reaches the hospital. 10-4, she acknowledges. Tammy and her ward are climbing into a large four-wheel drive truck. The driver is obscured by the dark-tinted windows. Rayland watches as they pull away and walks briskly to his waiting cruiser. Wonder if it's another Delta. Setting the small suitcase on the passenger floorboard, he sits up, taking a deep breath. Aloud, he says quietly, God, if you're listening, please let this work out. I really don't want to have to place this kid with DHS. Or piss off that major. Grimacing, Rayland pulls out into traffic. Tammy sits beside Anna in the back of the cab, ignoring the piercing stare of the Army Sergeant Major Dale Watts. He is dressed in his duty fatigues, and his beret covers steel-gray, close-cropped hair. Anna is looking about the big cab in awe. Dale speaks to her through the rearview mirror. Hi there. I'm Dale, a friend of Ms. Fuller. Very nice to meet you. Anna looks in confusion at Tammy, clasping her hands to cup her mouth. She whispers, I'm not supposed to talk to strangers. Who is Fuller? Dale chuckles while Tammy answers, I'm Miss Fuller, sweetie. It's my last name. Dale here is a longtime friend of mine. He's okay. Dale beams at the little girl, telling her, That's exactly right. You shouldn't talk to strangers. It's what I tell my two girls all the time. So tell me, Tammy, who is this precious young lady? Turning back in her seat to face him, she tells him solemnly, I'm Anna. Thank you for taking us to my grandma. You are very welcome, Dale tells her. You like my truck? Anna nods, taking in all the various oversized controls. Oh yeah, she says, some of her trepidation wearing off. Leaning forward, Dale picks up a set of black headphones and hands them back to her. Pointing at the screen off-center in the dash, he tells the child, That's a movie player. My youngest daughter, Rachel, has some of her favorite movies on it. If you put the headphones on, you can watch it by pushing this. He hands her the small remote and points out the various buttons. Or skip it with this button. To make it louder or softer, use the up and down arrows. Got it? Clutching the gizmo in her hand, Anna looks at Tammy and asks, Are we far from the hospital? About 20 minutes or so. The question is clear on the little girl's face. Of course you can watch something, Anna. Anna pulls on the headset and Tammy helps her adjust it as she uses the remote to click through the movies. Tammy can feel Dale watching out of the corner of his eye. They learned to use technology so early, huh? Yep, you should see my kids on a computer, Dale responds, smirking. They can soon hear the animated movie music playing softly throughout the cab. Letting his face become a neutral mask, Dale continues. So, Major, do you want to tell me now why you look like shit and have acquired a 6-year-old? I assume the Boy Scout following us is to ensure you aren't operating a motor vehicle, since I'm here. His normally cool features are beginning to redden as he continues in a soft tone. Damn it, Tammy. You shut us all out these past 6 months. I was there. Do you think I don't remember? Gritting her teeth, jaw clenched, Tammy remembers that this is one of the men she's known on and off her entire career. He was, in fact, one of her first instructors so long ago. Blinking back tears and struggling to keep her composure, she nods, saying mournfully, I know you do, Dale. I'm sorry. It's... shit. I don't know what it is anymore. She looks away, facing forward, afraid this friend will see the awful tormented soul she has become. Sighing loudly and taking Anna's hand, she says, This is my neighbor, just a kid I've spoken to in passing. I was interrogating a bottle of sour mash this morning when her grandmother took a nosedive down the stairs. I'm just watching her until we can find her parents. That's it. Anna leans into her, and Tammy's arm goes around her automatically. Okay. A pause, and he turns to look fully at her. Okay. But we talk this out later. Deal? Words escaped Tammy, and she could only nod in agreement. Cute kid, Dale adds. Looks a little like my sister's youngest. And while you're in an agreeing mood, dinner with the family and a team reunion will be on the schedule soonest. Summoning a glare she hopes will wither him, Tammy replies, You always were an asshole, Sergeant Major. Smiling genuinely, Dale leers back at her. Glad to have you back, ma'am. You're such a peach. Shaking her head in amusement, she mutters, Just watch the road, smartass. The hospital building is visible in the distance. Looking smug, Dale grins, tilting his head toward the structure. I'll even let the Major buy me a coffee, being as you inconvenienced me and all. Turning to face him, Tammy sighs. Did I mention you're an asshole?
You're listening to Big World Network.